Stay up to date with all that's happening with the new National Party, NNP. Send us a message via text or WhatsApp on 405-8683 with your name, email, and constituency. Stay in the know with NNP. Get updated.
It's coming.
It's coming.
It's coming.
It's coming.
It's coming.
It's coming.
Tomorrow's future is here today. Friday, April 5th. Carriacou James Athletic Stadium. National Secondary School Games. Run, throw, jump. National Secondary School Games 2019. Your games, your future. Saturday, April 13th is the date. 4 p.m. is the time. It's the 3rd annual Grenada Invitational. World-class athletes, world-class performances, and a world-class facility. Come see Olympians Andre DeGrasse, Sheldon Fraser Price, Braylon Toplin, Asafa Powell, Lyndon Victor, and the cast of superstars at the Carriacou James Athletic Stadium. Tickets are now on sale at godofed.com. Grenadian Optical, Duty Free Caribbean, Maxis Bar, and Venus. Saturday, April 13th. Grenada Invitational. See you there.
McIntyre, top of the screen in the colors of Grenada with a bit of a lead.
ECCB Governor says OECS must work in harmony to achieve targets set out in the OECS Development Strategy. Details to this story and more in the National Report. With the details to the news for Tuesday, March 26th, I am Leslie Ann Johnson. The Governor of the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank, Mr. Timothy Antwine, says the regional grouping must work together to achieve the growth rate set out by the OECS Development Strategy. He was speaking during the virtual media launch and public consultation of the draft strategy on Tuesday. In conjunction with its extensive stakeholders over a period of 2 years, the OECS Commission developed the strategy for member nations of the OECS to tap into the economic opportunities presented in an ever-changing regional and global environment. It's described as an important milestone in the journey towards the economic union envisaged in the revised Treaty of Bastille. Mr. Antwine says there is need for collective action to ensure targets set by the strategy are met.
The strategy identifies a growth range of 3 to 5%. So that's our target, 3 to 5%. That is, of course, very consistent with the ECCB strategy as well, which is 5%. Now, is that feasible? We think it is, but it cannot be business as usual. We're going to have to do some things differently. We're going to have to work together even more smartly if we're going to achieve that. But we are absolutely committed to doing our level best, our utmost best, to achieve these targets. But I want to be clear, these targets cannot be achieved by the OECS Commission or the ECCB. They have to be achieved in concert, collective action, everyone playing his or her role, including, of course, our international development partners. So I believe the strategy, it is possible for us to meet the targets with some hard work. In addition to the growth target, there's also the target of reducing unemployment by about 25% over the life of the strategy. This is a 10-year strategy. So the two goals, target growth of between 3 and 5% and reduce unemployment by 25%.
Grenada's Consul General in Toronto, Mr. Derek James, will be in Grenada next month as part of moves to recruit more local labor for Canadian farms. 36 workers have already left to work on farms in Canada. In addition, 25 persons were selected to travel to Barbados for training with Trinity Recruitment Services for possible placement with Carnival Cruise Lines. During the government's weekly post-cabinet briefing on Tuesday, Labour Minister, the Honourable Peter David, said government is committed to securing employment opportunities for Grenadians.
There's also a potential program for the recruitment of hotel and domestic workers in Canada. The Consul General will be coming to Grenada soon, and again, on the issue of hotel and domestic workers, he will be speaking to us about how do we take advantage of those programs in Canada. So we are working on several fronts in the Ministry of Labour to source employment outside of the country while we seek to protect our workers in Grenada.
The Labour Minister also spoke to the process that must be followed to secure the right type of labour for the Canadian farms.
It's a visit along with some farmers who are interested in getting new workers on board. That is where it stands at the moment. He may find it necessary, along with the farmers who are interested, to meet some of the workers. I think when they come to Grenada, sometimes we have a list of workers who have applied, we have a list who have been interviewed, and I just want to say this, that, you know, we receive a huge amount of names, but it takes us time to interview, and we don't want to give the expectation. Some people believe that we can just send people abroad. The only way we can send people to a farm is when a farmer requests. And then when they request, sometimes they request 10 persons, we go to the list and they interview the 10 persons. Of the 10 they interview, they may decide to take 5. In other words, it is not entirely up to us who goes. It is a private sector arrangement where we facilitate the names going to them.
This is the National Report. More news after the break.
Tomorrow's future is here today. Friday, April 5th. Kirani James Athletic Stadium. National Secondary School Games. Run, throw, jump. National Secondary School Games 2019. Your games, your future.
Continuing the news, Grenada's anti-corruption system is being globally recognized for its implementation of best practices by international monetary agencies and organizations. So says Acting Prime Minister, the Honourable Gregory Bowen, who warned that it will not be business as usual as Grenada and the rest of the region work towards the creation, establishment and implementation of an anti-corruption system. He was addressing the Integrity Commission's annual Senior Leadership and Management Training Program at the National Stadium on Tuesday. It focuses on highlighting ongoing and current anti-corruption information and best practices. Minister Bowen says corruption thrives on weak structures and hinders economic development, so Grenada and its regional partners need to eliminate risks and gaps that enable corruption.
Government is serious about strengthening our public management system, and we urge the private sector to do the same, so that together we can make a meaningful contribution towards addressing the issues of corruption in our society. It is clear that any anti-corruption regime or system must be robust, active, well-coordinated, and consistent. Here in Grenada, we are actively engaged in the implementation of a suite of legislation that supports our thrust to address accountability and responsible public sector management. Such legislation, coupled with implementation efforts, must holistically address the risks and gaps which enable corruption.
Head of the Integrity Commission, Lady Anande Trotman-Joseph, says Grenada is assisting the CARICOM Secretariat in facilitating regional training and development. She said this is important to encourage regional collaboration.
This particular implementation effort of building out anti-corruption sectors undergirded by integrity systems will know by now that there is no way that we can do this on our own. To do so would be naive. Instead, it is pragmatic and realistic to reach out to stakeholders with whom inevitably we must work with, be they parliamentarians, politicians, civil society, public officials, public officers, head of statutory bodies, the man and woman in the street, and the children who play in our schoolyards. In other words, everyone is a stakeholder.
Grenada's double Olympic medalist Kirani James has announced his support for the 2019 Grenada Invitational on April 13 as an official ambassador. James, who participated in the inaugural event in 2017, will not be competing this year. He will arrive in Grenada on April 8th and will officially welcome the delegation of regional and international athletes. Kirani will also lend support to the ESPN team by providing expert analysis during the live broadcast of the games. Ms. Carleen Purcell, chair of the committee for the Grenada Invitational, says they're happy to have him on board.
We're delighted to announce the inclusion of our double Olympic medalist and hero, Kirani James, as ambassador for the 2019 edition of the Southern Caribbean's largest track and field meet. In a statement on Monday, March 25th, Kirani proffered the following, and I quote, "I am happy to announce that I will be a part of the 2019 edition of the Grenada Invitational as an official ambassador. Even though I am not competing this year, I consider it an honor to be a part of a project which purpose is towards the development of track and field in Grenada and highlight on a local, regional, and international level."
Athletes booked for the April 13 games include Justin Gatlin and Asafa Powell.
Andre DeGrassi was very, very pleased. You know, he was one of the first persons we booked. Shelley and Fraser Price. We have Aaron Brown, who's a Canadian national champ as well, or Antigua national champ holder, Miguel Francis. Akeem Bloomfield, look out for him. Right now, he's a young Jamaican, 20 years old, running sub-20 for 200 and just about sub-10 for the 100 meters. So he's a young upcoming Jamaican as well. So we have a lot of guys, Mike Rogers, Isaiah Young. Those are all people that have been here before and wanting to come back. You know, so it's Shema Little. She's again our #1 hurdler, 400-meter hurdler in the world right now. So, you know, we have talented athletes, and like I said, they want to come back, and they show interest even when they're coming for the first time to come back.
Ms. Purcell is pleased with the progress so far for the Games and spoke of government's commitment and support towards ensuring its success.
The government actually has been one of our biggest supporters in terms of technical support and just trying to ensure that, you know, work with us to ensure that it happens. We have a local organizing committee. We have support from, we have a member on the committee supporting that as well. The government is in support of the all-round kind of development that this can have on the nation. So they've always been supportive and have continued to support us.
And that's the National Report. I'm Leslie Ann Johnson.
April 13th is the date. 4 p.m. is the time. It's the 3rd annual Grenada Invitational. World-class athletes, world-class performances, and a world-class facility. Come see Olympians Andre DeGrasse, Shellyan, Fraser Price, Braylon Toplin, Asafa Powell, Lyndon Victor, and the cast of superstars at the Kirani James Athletic Stadium. Tickets are now on sale at godofed.com. Grenadian Optical, Duty Free Caribbean, Maxis Bar, and Venus. Saturday, April 13th. Grenada Invitational. See you there.
McIntyre, top of the screen in the colors of Grenada with a bit of a lead.
Tomorrow's future is here today. Friday, April 5th. Kirani James Athletic Stadium. National Secondary School Games. Run, throw, jump. National Secondary School Games 2019. Your games, your future. Stay up to date with all that's happening with the new national party, NNP. Send us a message via text or WhatsApp on 405-8683 with your name, email, and constituency. Stay in the know with NNP. Get updated.
Public workers employed between February 22nd, 1985 and December 31st, 2018, as stated in the MOU, is a non-contributory pension scheme. Therefore, no deductions will be taken from workers' salaries to finance their pension from government. Pensioners also benefit from any future negotiated salary increases. 7. It was agreed by all parties that a worker's annual pension would be a minimum of 70% of their final salary to be paid jointly by the NIS and the government of Grenada. 8. Government is not obligated to offer an advanced pension payment, commonly called a gratuity. However, government has proposed to make an advanced pension payment of 2% of the full pension, an amount it can practically and reasonably afford, given its current and projected revenue stream. It should be noted that an advanced pension payment can be seen as a non-interest-bearing loan that the government grants to the pensioner, which must be repaid in equal monthly installments in the form of a reduced monthly pension over 12.5 years. 9. Under the proposed 2% advance pension payment or gratuity, retirees will be entitled to a higher monthly pension than if a larger advanced payment was given. And 10. If the government was to accommodate any higher rate of gratuity, the implications will be severe for the country, as this will translate to higher taxes such as VAT, income tax, and property tax, higher import duties, the possibility of hundreds of millions of dollars in grants being lost, lower expenditure in critical areas such as healthcare, agriculture, roadworks, and youth development, and retrenchment of workers. Government is committed to an amicable resolution to the pension matter for the good of all Grenadians.
Imagine that you've worked all year and finally able to escape to Grenada for the perfect holiday. You are now relaxing on Grand Anse Beach with the wind in your hair and sand on your feet, hearing the sound of the waves crashing on the shore and birds chirp.
Miss, you want any coconut water?
No, thank you.
Oh gosh, miss, buy something now. What about these pretty necklaces?
No, thank you, sir.
You sure you don't want no coconut water? It's good for your daughter, you know. Miss, you have any children?
This is harassment. One bad experience could translate into the loss of new and repeat visitors. Tourism benefits everyone. Tourism is everybody's business.
You're listening to Hard Talk Grenada via www.hardtalkgrenada.com.
Some wicked politics do they playing, but only mad people will do such thing. Cause the blind could see such an existing. So to all them politicians that claim they don't understand, independent don't have still remain a mental sham. I must let them know my independence manifesto. When we could manufacture we cocoa, then we independent and stop import all the damn Milo. Then we independent. When we could stop the Kentucky flow, then we independent and promote the local chicken some more. Then we independent. Ahoy, 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 ahoy.
Good
Good morning to you, Grenada, Carriacou, P.D. Martinique. Once again, it is time for Hard Talk. 36 minutes after the hour of 10 o'clock on the Spice Isle of Grenada. My name is Sheldon Scott.
And I'm Devon Romain.
And this is Hard Talk on well, it was sunny earlier. Now it's become kind of overcast and rainy. Yeah, that Sahara desert dust is kind of not easy to deal with. It's not as thick, though. I think the rains have been helping, so
yeah,
I am not upset for the rains. Yeah, we need the rains anyhow. In between,
we have some nice weather in St. Andrews at this point in time.
Sun?
No, rain.
Rain, nice. Yeah,
cool,
that's
nice,
good for the
cool
farmers
weather.
and so.
Yeah,
good for everybody because even the asthmatics. What the rain is gonna do, it's gonna wash, kind of scrub the air a bit and get rid of a lot of that dust that has been circulating. So I think it's important. Yeah, it's important. So Devon, what's up, man?
Why, what I can say, chilling, the regular word, chilling, you know, give God thanks and praise this morning. A beautiful day. I mean, from St. Andrews perspective, coming down, you know, the sun was out and then the rain started falling, and then make it, you know, again, it's just another beautiful day in Grenada, you know, and I'm happy to be part of it. You know,
Devon, I was looking at GBN this morning, and I was looking at the Honorable Peter David, the Member of Parliament for the town of St. George, our Honorable Foreign Minister with responsibility for labor issues.
Also,
yeah, and he was on this morning. Absolutely fabulous job. Absolutely fabulous job this morning. Until a certain man get vexed when he tell the man he's a NDC. I understand, man, you lose it in a dread. Jude Bernard.
You tell Jude Bernard is a NDC?
The man was making a passing statement and he mentioned that Jude is a NDC and Jude lose it, boy.
Yeah, he's a supporter of NDC.
Yeah, I walk out and by the time I come back in the car, boy, whoop, papa. I say was fight taking place inside there, you know.
But perhaps only if at this point in time he's not affiliated himself with the NDC.
But the man say one meeting he ever attend, and that was to give a poll and ting.
But when I was there as a member of the executive, and numerous times Jude Bernard would show up and you know, and a consultant.
I think Pedro wanted to really get too much into
no.
it
It don't make
lose from
sense.
the discussion.
Yeah, it don't make sense. You see, and
Pedro wouldn't waste his time going through all of that.
All that thing with him,
but we could.
Yeah, we could. We could.
Pedro ain't going to do it, but we could. Yeah. He want people to know that he was a...
So he disassociating himself from NDC?
So you're confirming that on more than one occasion he attended NDC executive meetings?
Well, not the executive meetings per se.
NDC forums.
Well, he had forums. He gave. He had times we had workshops and so on. He would be there giving sessions and so, hour, 2 hours, and that sort of thing. In a capacity as a consultant.
So what's wrong with being a member of the NDC?
I don't know.
I don't find nothing wrong if somebody's a member of the NDC.
I was a member of NDC.
So what? That's leprosy. What happened to that? Somebody's a member of the NDC. You heard the man get on there. I swear that Honorable Peter David said something about the man that was, inflammatory or libelous or slanderous or some kind of thing.
I wonder how he partner Ray. Thinking when he listen like, oh, the man mad because he say you're NDC. Boy. Well, you know what? No one wants to associate themselves with a failing organization, an organization with no moral scruples and bent on being
the executive and not the because the rank and file. Let's be brethren and sisters. We are not
you know.
I ain't even nothing against the executive, and I just have something against
some of the leaders,
against the statements and the nonsensical, idiotic behavior of many of the individuals associated, but I'm not against the organization. It's a Grenadian organization,
of course, and there are a number of them I respect.
I will defend the organization against any non-Grenadian organization.
Of course, anytime.
Because the organization is a Grenadian organization, so you go tell me UNC from Trinidad go come and attack NDC in Grenada and I go support UNC in Trinidad. No, I'm supporting NDC in Grenada if that is the case. It's Grenadian. I might not agree with them, but still, it's Grenadian. By the time I finish, you think I wear in yellow right through, you know.
What? And between me and you, there are a number of persons within NDC still think that I'm a member of NDC.
They still think?
I'm telling you, even this morning, Jah hear me, talking to a particular gentleman, and he was, expressing himself on the same, on Honorable Peter David. and everything like that. And I was listening to him and I was laughing and everything with him, but he just didn't know. And I blame him for that. But because he's someone that I'd work a lot with in Southwest St. Andrews too. Loyal supporter of NDC. You understand? And
well, let me ask this question though. What's this nonsense about who is what do you call them again? Not the people who have left NDC. Traitors. What's this nonsense about traitor? Now, how you could call a man a traitor? How could you call Peter David, Joseph Gilbert, Carl Hood, Glennis Roberts, Chester Humphrey? How could you call these individuals traitors when they didn't leave the NDC? You know, the NDC leave them.
Yeah, the NDC leave them on the ground. I mean, persons, patriotic comrades who dedicated most of their time, take away time from their family and dedicate it towards the organization. You turn around and call them traitors. I mean, come on, it's amazing.
You can't call the people traitors. Yo, dear, in fact, that is just a dunce statement.
Yeah.
And these days, we had to start clarifying what is a dunce and what is an idiotic statement. You may find her using that word a lot these days. But we had to call it for what it is. Because some of these things, people who are trying to give you the impression they're intelligent are the ones that are saying it.
Yeah.
How you could call a man a traitor? How you could call Honorable Peter David a traitor? A man that came in, he worked to help build your party. He brought your party up to a level. He was a hard worker in the party. Continued supporting the party even though he left the government. You all went and set up your thing and kicked the man out. And now you want to call him traitor? No, you are traitor to him.
I remember when they started this thing, Solidarity Sundays, the amount of venom and malign and all sorts of things they had to say about us is like, I mean, we never existed in Grenada. We never played no part in no role in the organization. I mean, it was so...
I do that strip you naked.
Yeah, boy. And some of them will still want
to
see that
you
happen.
weren't one of those that were excommunicated from the party.
No. I resigned just a week before.
But I see you resigned on principle.
Yeah. Because you see, I'll tell
principle.
you what. Yeah. And what
so we used to call the principal of the class because you have principle. Unlike some of them.
They was coming after me too because what the strategy was to get rid of all the chairpersons, the present chairpersons, right, at the point in time. And they were in St. Andrews. But it happened now, I was a chairperson of Sylvester Quallis constituency, Southwest, and also the Assistant General Secretary for St. Andrews, meaning that the full constituencies, you know, as a caretaker for them. And so, and when I realized 3 gone, and I was the only one standing. and then when we went to the forum in the Methodist, and I saw a gentleman by the name of Hopkins, WAP, cuff down Prince, right in front of the MP and other members.
He had the right name, WAP, because that was the song he make after he...
Yeah, and I was like, and myself and
well, and Quallis because we don't say nothing here.
Well, I talk in the facts because I was right there. and based on what we understood, myself and Quallis, and so Prince was not a target. Prince was just defending what the accusation they was making against Quallis, because imagine all this time too, when this thing was going on, Quallis was under fire too, you know. Yeah, he was under fire.
Yeah, because they didn't like him.
No,
they didn't want him, but they couldn't get rid of him, and they know why they couldn't get rid of him.
Exactly. Glenn went in Soteres in one of the first Solidarity Sundays.
Yeah, he name called too.
And called within the whole clique. I mean, but you know, knowing Quallis, yeah, that principal man, he don't worry that because he do that cheap talk. Yeah, we have all the tape.
We ain't need to play this.
We don't need to play it, and so yeah. So I preempted. I preempted what was going on, Sheldon, and right on Andrew Donald's station in the morning, I made it out loud, clear for them to hear. You know, everybody to hear.
I remember when they tell them come and collect the t-shirts.
Yeah, come and vacate.
I remember that. You say a house of t-shirt there for all you. Pass for it.
You know, and then what? 1 week after convention, the whole shebang came down. They expelled over 10, 11 persons.
And they still can't resurrect from that, you know.
Illegally, yeah. We have to remember that.
Because Carl Hood took them to court on it and won.
Yeah. You know, illegally. But then
because Randall Robinson couldn't be confirmed as the caretaker candidate for the NDC until that court case was finished.
Exactly.
And Carl Hood won.
And won. So you see, it's just, you know, boy, God know why things happen that way. And then it's a blessing because if that didn't happen, myself and persons like Honorable Peter David and others and so would not have found a home in a new national party. The house was there, we just was stubborn not to get inside.
Would that be me alone inside?
Yeah. The house was built and everything furnished and everything, and we just decided to stay underneath the house, you know.
I think a lot of people that's good. You see, there has to be this kind of understanding about individuals and individuals. Myself and Devon have known each other even before NNP won the election in 2013.
Exactly.
And we've never had a bad relationship.
At all. For what?
So I never watched Devon and say, Devon is a NDC. And start to watch him in a kind of way and I don't want to talk to him also. Devon never watched me and, boy, that man is a NNP and he want to talk to him.
For that, you see.
You deal with each other nice. I remember during our time in opposition, I would meet Honorable Peter David from time to time. And I mean, it's that one particular thing that was done to me under the NDC government. And when I tell him, and I see the man like you want to cry, I said, no, it's okay. When I told him what his government at the time had done to me, and it touched the individual, it touched Honorable Peter David. So I never had a bad relationship with people. I don't hold people enemy because of politics. And I think that is the reason that the New National Party continues to perform as a political organization in the way that it is performing. Because the organization does not deal with hate and spite.
No time for that.
It deals with unity, building bridges, not burning bridges, building bridges. Yeah, and that is why the New National Party continues to move forward. Yeah, we have time for spite and all kind of things.
Waste of time. We have too much of things to do in Grenada to be concentrating on spite and what people have to say. Too much things. Grenada is moving. It's a developed country at this point in time. I mean, it isn't developing no more. It's developed and we're just going higher heights. You know?
I know what has happened to people like Jude Bernard and others, you know. What they're suffering from is political tabanka.
To lose all this time.
It's like he was in a relationship with somebody and that relationship was so sweet, boy. That person used to do everything for you. And then you and that person break up. And you're vexed, you see that person with somebody else, but every time you see them, you're vexed. You're upset. Political tabanka. That's what they're going through.
Political tabanka.
That's what's going on.
Tabanka.
For those of you that may not know what tabanka is, do some research in it.
Too, you know. Yeah.
It's political tabanka. That's what a lot of them going through.
These guys and them, you know.
Every time they look at people, for instance, they see Ali Gill. Political tabanka.
They're mad. When they see the president of the Senate,
political tabanka.
Well, don't talk about Honorable Peter David.
Yeah, it's political tabanka. That's what they're going through.
And watch, and you have some of them, when they hear my voice on the radio, all they could think about is traitor and this and that and Dr. Mitchell buy you over and this. Well, hey, if you have somebody who could pay me a lot of money and buy me over, then good for me. But Vex is not all you. You understand? Political tabanka, man. You see, principle. When you're wrong, you're wrong. When you're on the wrong or the bad side of history, I mean, you have to accept it. You guys have done so many wrong things, right, to the moral fabric of Grenada. Not just, destroy Grenada economically and infrastructure and whatever, but the moral fabric. People's conscience, all they try to play with, and so on, malign and destroy people's character.
Strip you naked.
These are the things that you all did. That's why you all don't, people, they will forgive you, but they won't forget.
God ain't sleeping.
No, he ain't sleeping. I forgive you all, but I wouldn't forget. Right? They let some of you guys go to destroy some of us. For what?
That's why I could sleep at night.
Yeah, disagreements, man.
You can sleep at night when you put aside all hate and bad mind. I ain't forgetting. One thing I ain't doing is I ain't forgetting. Yeah, it's not that I keep you in mind. I remember your capability. So I keep you in mind.
Always,
But I forgive you for your previous actions.
I don't have time to hold that burden and me to bother me every time. Like what,
Like who was trying to set up people and say who thief?
Yeah.
And all kind of nonsense and all kind of things.
I will tell you.
That's why a certain man right now in the political graveyard. That's why a certain man in political graveyard went and malign not just me, malign a whole group of individuals innocently, and they knew. If you didn't know and you make the statement was one thing, but you knew what you were saying was a lie.
But incorrect.
But you went in Parliament to protect yourself. You went and said in Parliament so that you could have been protected. That is why your political career done. Yes, stay away there now. Go and plant pumpkin.
Morning to Honorable Anthony Boson. You know, Honorable Anthony Boson is one of the first, executive member of NNP who basically, who stood up and told me, say, what, you see, you have to join the NNP, you know. You could do what you I thought Ben Andre fighting on the radio and everything like that. He said, you have to join the NNP. You know, so it's just, I don't know. And then, you know, another thing,
it's unity. The NNP is about unity. The NNP is about bringing people together to build our country. That's why you've heard of terms like Project Grenada and so on. It's all about bringing everyone together who has a like mind. And the like mind is that you want to see the best for Grenada.
That's all.
So we all come together to move. We don't have to agree with each other.
No.
We may have different political ideologies. We may have different beliefs. But the main belief that ties everybody together and creates that unity is to see Grenada prosper and move forward. And that's the main thing.
Yeah. And you see, you know what made the new National Party a force, or even a more solid force to reckon with, because of its inclusiveness. And so, right, with persons from all different walk of life. And so, right, you've been welcome. Imagine, I was never vote for NNP. Never was thinking of being an NNP. But political circumstances will guide you, you know, to where things happen. And it was amazing when I made that first move to get into the new National Party, man. It's not that there was no obstacles away, but the welcoming moment and so you get from members and so was, I have no regrets.
You always be so there anyway.
I have no regrets. Persons will say things no matter what, but the mere fact that, you know, being there and you could turn here and turn there.
People talk, that's what they do.
Yeah.
We don't bother with that, because at the end of the day, what the focus of the party is this: that those that do not have, that you find ways and mechanisms of helping them to get.
Exactly.
Whether it's you have to give or you have to help them to earn. And that's why when we ended the program yesterday, we ended on the note that it seems as though certain individuals have a problem anytime something is done for the poorer class in Grenada. Yeah. Some of them have a problem. So that, okay, you have the seed program. The seed program is not geared towards rich people or upper middle class people. It's geared towards low income or no income people. Some of them have no income. Low income. What do? Leave them out there to starve and not be able to buy medication or a tank of gas to cook for the children or even food to cook?
No.
You provide an opportunity for them, as small as it is. You provide an opportunity for them, because sometimes all you need is a little hand up to walk you through the rough time. You just need somebody to hold your hand and guide you through the rough time, and then you get to a stage that you don't need it again.
Exactly. Like you get a kickstart in life and you move from there.
It's like somebody, let's say somebody is studying in university, and while you're in university, you need a little help. And government does that. The Honorable Peter David spoke about scholarships in Serbia and all different places like that. And the main thing is this: that is a lot of poor people, children that going. That don't mean that upper middle class and maybe even upper class children, if they qualify for a scholarship, shouldn't get a scholarship. Yeah, they can get one too. Their parents paying taxes too, you know. So you can't vex if one of them get a scholarship. But you aim mainly because some of them parents, they don't want that. They say, I go pay for my child. I want to make sure everything okay for them. So they pay. Right? But the people of the poorer classes in Grenada, their children are getting scholarships. Increased numbers of scholarships, even if some of them are right here in Grenada to the St. George University. But increased numbers of scholarships to people who otherwise would never have had the opportunity to go to university. Never have had it.
Sheldon.
And it seems as though some of these individuals have a problem with that.
Yeah, they must have a problem because some of
Poor
them...
people, children.
Some of them never talked. Some of them had the opportunity to, you know. The revolution and this NNP government, this NNP party is the only two organizations, in my view, right, that basically took care of the poor and working class, especially when it comes to educating. Look at the amount of scholarships that were issued during the revolution. Look at the amount now. During, the NNP time. Look at the amount. So many opportunities for young people to go out there and study.
And you see, the revolution, 4.5 years, and the volume of scholarships that was done in that period of time, it has to be applauded. Some people, you just want to see the negative in things. Some people just want to see the positive. I like to be realistic, and during the revolution, a lot of people got the opportunities. People who are serving Grenada right now as doctors. Yeah? People who are serving as engineers.
Vets.
Yeah.
Dentists.
Yeah.
You name it.
They got the opportunity, and you have some studying there now.
And you have
more and more. And again, it took Dr. Mitchell, as Prime Minister of Grenada, to re-engage with Cuba.
Imagine
because remember, before 1995 there, the governments between 1984 and 1985, the new National Party under Herbert Blaise, and then you came to
Nicholas
Brafitt, and then you came to...
Forget Cuba.
Before you came to Nicholas Brafitt,
you came... you had Ben Jones.
Ben Jones, and Nicholas Brafitt.
And then Brizan. And then
none of those wanted anything to do with rapprochement with Cuba.
They didn't want to hear about Cuba.
It's Dr. Mitchell. And the thing is, Dr. Mitchell opened the door, and then the rest of the Caribbean just go through and they realize Grenada do it by everybody. Dr. Mitchell was the first in the region to go back, because everybody in the region was still afraid after what took place in 1983. Everybody was afraid to interact with Cuba. And it was Dr. Mitchell that went back and opened the door.
And I must say, thanks to to some people, the Maurice Bishop Foundation with Dr. Marichaud. Right after when he came back somewhere around 85, 86, Einstein Luzon was there for a particular time, and so he was able to get out with his organization to keep that spark between Grenada and Cuba, you understand, functioning. So it wasn't, when by the time Dr. Mitchell came in and he realized, man, look, we're losing so much not being close to Cuba, and so no, we have to do something. And imagine, the revolution didn't bring Fidel Castro here, but Doc did it. Doc did it.
And you know an interesting thing as well, though. I was actually offered a scholarship by the MBPM. Back, it would have been about 1998, 1999, somewhere around there. The MBPM had offered me a veterinary scholarship. Offered me a veterinary scholarship back in... I just didn't want to leave Grenada at the point in time. But I was offered one, that'd be in Cuba, that'd be Dr. Scott. But folks, the phone lines are open 440-7377. It's 1 minute to 11.
347-329-3101. Just chit-chatting about,
we have to continue asking ourselves, and we say good morning to all of you online. No, we have not forgotten you. We love you. Like and share. Lorraine, we realize that you kind of sneak in.
Yes.
So Elsa, Denise, I know Sonia is going to pop up somewhere if she hasn't already.
Cynthia.
Yeah.
And so
Dali is in with us this morning.
Morning, Dali.
Yeah, so everyone is in with us there this morning.
Dali want to sew some clothes for us,
She want to sew some clothes for us?
Yeah, so she want to come and take measurement and everything like that.
Dali, I ain't too sure I want you measurement.
Yeah. Morning, Dali and the staff out there.
Them kind of thing Dali was supposed afraid.
Dali was bad at you.
And Dali, I don't intend to be this size for very long. Anyone that knows me knows that every now and again I go up in size, and then when I'm ready I just throw it off and I go down. And right now I'm on a downward trajectory, so hold on a little bit. I'm on the downward trajectory.
Good morning to our senior citizens.
Well, let's go to the phone lines.
Good morning and welcome.
Yes, gentlemen, good morning.
Good morning to you, my friend.
Yes, first of all, let me say that I am disappointed with Minister Bowen because he caused a political death of my Auntie Franca. I don't hear nothing about her. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I can't say I ain't seen her because we are here in the States. I can't see her.
Yeah.
But I ain't hearing nothing about her. I don't know what's going on. Or you could update me.
No, listen. What we could tell you is this. Hold on, huh? She had a very difficult last few months. She lost her husband within the last year. She's had a very, and that's after losing the general election in last year.
Yeah.
She lost her husband, a good friend of mine, very nice gentleman. She lost her husband, and I think she's been kind of on the down low these days. So you realize we doesn't talk much about her. We leave it to Auntie Franca alone.
Yeah. She earned.
Auntie Franca.
Okay.
That's why we haven't been here about
I really wanted cake here because I know she likes to bake. So
yeah.
Okay.
I want to get me cake from elsewhere.
You still want to lead the Senate to go and do that and all kind of thing. You understand? Lead the nation business to go and do your cake, your baking.
Anyhow, as it relates to the interim leader of the NDC, I think, in my honest opinion, that was the best way he could have gotten a seat in the parliament. So he, to me, like, he didn't really care where he got a seat. It's just that he just took a seat. I mean, I understand that he come late, but he needed a seat. So at least he could say, well, I had a seat in the parliament.
He tried one time already and couldn't get one.
Oh my God, Lord!
Yeah. He tried under MBPM too, innit?
Yeah, he tried under MBPM.
No, he actually tried under MBPM and he tried under NDC. So he's been trying a while now.
Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, he tried under MBPM twice.
My question is, right? And I want people to be very honest. Mr. Rondell Robinson, who is supposed to be educated in the political field, I say supposed to be, why would he make such a dotish statement afterwards? Why would he support such a dotish statement? He is supposed to know protocol.
Nobody is saying you're wrong.
Go ahead.
No, we're not saying you're wrong. You go ahead, man.
Yeah, but he is supposed to know, and then you're making dotish statements. So if you don't know, it's better you shut up and you get information of how the thing really supposed to work. Because then when you go and make such a statement, you make yourself look like a fool. I'm not saying the man is a fool. I say look like. Because I know they go run and see how somebody called HARDTALK and call the gentleman a fool. It will make him look foolish then. Because you don't know protocol, but then you're going and running your mouth as if you know so much protocol, and the thing is you're wrong. You're 150% wrong. So I think they should get some education. I don't know if somebody could educate them on protocols and stuff, because they won't get it from inside the party. As far as I understand, there is division, and there is no unity in division. So I believe that is why the gentleman didn't even know what he was about to. So he reached late. Maybe he didn't read the invitation. Maybe he just know the date when Your Royal Highness was supposed to come in Grenada and he just maybe somebody tell him. I don't know. I don't know if he gets an official invitation, because he should know when you're dealing with time. Time is time. You know, it's not like you're just going in a restaurant and eat. I mean, people even go to church late. But this is a whole completely different thing. So, to me, it makes them look extremely foolish just by trying to defend such a foolish act. But that is it. And don't forget, before I go, if you all could try and give us an update on the national health insurance, because I think it's important. I would really like to know what's going on.
Okay, no problems.
Okay.
All right.
All right, my friend. Enjoy the rest of the day.
We'll have to get one of the folks that are working along with the national health insurance. What I can say is that I know for a fact that they are having meetings going around to discuss the national health insurance. The same as they're having meetings to discuss the shifting of the retirement age. So both of them kind of in the same range. So there are some meetings that are taking place. What we need to get is the list of the meetings so we can let the general public know when the team is going to be in your area, so you can have your say on the national health insurance and also have your say on the area of increasing the age of retirement. Yeah? Because there's some people that are running around and saying, no, government trying to increase the age of retirement. Government isn't trying to increase the age of retirement. there is a recommendation as per the actuary reports, two at least, to the National Insurance Scheme, that the age of retirement be changed in Grenada. At least two reports are saying that. Now, with that said, that is a recommendation that's made to government, not a recommendation from government to the NIS. It's a recommendation from the NIS to government. But yet still, you have those people, and that's why I thank the Almighty every day that these people are not in charge of the affairs of this country, because they don't understand them. Even the most basic, they don't understand them. They don't understand the difference between a request from the NIS due to the actuarial report, and the actuarial report looks at how much money the NIS is making, how the investments are going, the different mitigating factors that may affect it positively or negatively in the future. That's what these reports look at. And they are saying that there's a necessity, and the region is doing the same. We have a caller.
Good morning and welcome.
Hello, good morning, Mr. Sheldon.
Morning, sir.
Mr. Greenman is here. Morning, Mr. Devon.
Good morning, Fern.
How are you?
All right, we good?
I want to ask him two questions, Mr. Devon.
Yeah.
You might know because you was in the revolution. One, do you know bank used to open on Saturdays?
On Saturdays?
Aye?
On Saturdays?
Yeah, man, bank used to open on Saturdays because why I'm saying that, me and some guy was talking and I asked him if bank used to open on Saturdays, then he never knew that. And he's around 70-something years.
I can't, honestly, I can't remember, you know.
Okay. Yeah, when the revolution come in, my bishop changed the system. And then Saturday come to a half-day work. I will listen. So make a comment on that. I will listen.
Okay.
Somebody else who knows might be able to call in and say.
I can't. If I tell you for sure yes or no, I'll be lying.
I know somebody, Mr. Frame.
Yeah, Mr. Frame would definitely.
Send a note over and let me know, because I know Mr. Frame is a person very au fait with financial matters.
Yeah, or if it
and he would at that point in time.
Would have known.
He would be I'm trying to avoid using the words would have. At that point in time, he was part of government.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he would know.
Yeah.
He would be able to see. And finance was one of the areas, so he would know. So Mr. Frame, somebody, let Mr. Frame tell us.
That's interesting, though.
I definitely wouldn't know.
No, I can't.
I ain't that old. I wouldn't know. I would know you were asking about Mr. Andal, and yes, he ran for the MBPM in 1990 once.
In 1990?
In 1990.
Okay.
Got 140 votes.
Wow.
In 1990.
Okay, so 1990 and then 2013.
And 2018.
2013, well, he moved up, man.
And now he's the interim leader.
Yeah, well, man moving up, man. Good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning to you.
Morning, sir.
And pleasant morning to your listening audience.
Yeah, punctuality, man.
No, sorry about that. I'm just trying to get rid of this thing, not radio here. Now, gentlemen, thanks for taking my call. Well, I don't know about when bank used to open on Saturdays, but I could tell you, I've been on this out for a little while. I could tell you when I knew when them flour was 10 cents a pound. Now, listen me carefully here, Mr. Scott. No, if there is one person that understands the teacher's argument for 25%, it's me. Whether or not it is constitution or not, I would like to know when public servants retired, they would receive 25% cash advance of the pension. I want that for them. That is what I would like to see happen. But, gentlemen, the big question is, can the country afford it at this present time? And the answer is definitely not. And I find that the government have put forward some credible, logical, and sensible reasoning as to why this is not possible at this time. Okay, listen to this. Both sides could not have come to an agreement, so the matter is in the court. Now, let me careful, I hope the judgment is in favor of public servants. Hopefully, if the judgment comes in 3 years' time, the country would be in a position to sustain it. This is what I hope. Now, so why continue to punish the children? Why continue to put them at a disadvantage? Why destroy the foundation of your discipline? It does not reflect good on the profession. And I hope the unions will change their attitude. My last point here, brother, bear with me. Now, I'm a supporter of the NNP. And I'm aware of all the shortcomings of the NNP. After all, Devon, we was on the other side blasting them. So we know the shortcomings have cost us a lot of money. We know that among the other deficiencies that have been pointed out by the other side. We know that. Now, every time the mic have been handed to the NDC, they make the same argument. You keep saying the same things over and over again. Only negative about the PM, only negative about the NNP, only negative about the supporters, only negative about the country, You are not offering any solutions to none of the issues we face in this country. Gentlemen, I find it laughable that you can tell us how bad things are in Grenada, how bad things are in the country, but at the same time offer no solution and expect us to buy into this blind tunnel. According to the young people today, the gentlemen, have a pleasant day.
I don't like trouble. Oh my God! You know, Sheldon, I've been contemplating for a while now, and so as a parent, in basically trying or exploring the possibility of filing an injunction against the teachers, as a parent.
I think there's legal grounds.
I say that because
not only a parent but a tax-paying parent. Make sure and put the part tax-paying in front of it.
Paying parent, and it's important because nobody is really speaking, right, or taking action for our young ones, right? For example, the matter with the teachers or the workers and so is a matter that's in court at this point in time.
A group of parents could decide to do it,
Okay,
and I'm sure there are lawyers that will take the case.
Exactly, and at this point in time, if something is being litigated in court, why should the other things that you put in place must continue, right? And I'm serious, and I'm very serious with that. I will have some discussion with a couple of parents who may be thinking like me, and pursue it to ensure in getting the teachers back on the job, right, efficiently, because as it is now, the work to rule is definitely affecting our children, and not just our children, but our parents. The parents too. Because they have to worry their head about trying to find money to give their child or their children to go and get extra classes. And so, right, time they will spend with the child doing something else other than schoolwork, right? And so they have to cancel the extracurricular activity and put in the time to help the children when the teachers are the ones supposed to be doing that, okay, in their capacity. But the work to rule, so hey, who like it, who don't like it, that's them. I'm as a parent, that's the way I'm thinking.
Let me say this, Devon, and I think we have a caller online. Let me go to that, and then we'll come
Good
back.
morning and welcome.
Yes, good morning again. It's something I remember. I'll be very quickly because I know I'm allowed one call. A point that I have to raise. Mr. The gentleman that is representing Sister Roberts had made absolutely no sense to me. And I want to know, why is it you must have persons working in the government, working with the government, or any employer for that matter, in that case the government, being paid to do a job and did nothing. And then you're so brave to say that I was doing nothing. And even though she was transferred from one place to the next, the lawyer was making the argument that she has no portfolio, although her salary wasn't dropped. I'm trying to understand. I mean, common sense is not common, but could any one of you just try and explain to me, please, why is it somebody must be working, getting paid with taxpayers' money and not doing anything when they're being paid to do a job? Is it legal or not? I'll listen on air.
All right, thank you. Yes, indeed. And 440-7377, that's the number for you to call and get on to the inside. And I don't know, Leslie, like you read my mind, because that was the issue I was about to come on to, you know. Yeah, Devon just step outside for 1 minute. So I'll wait until he comes back into the studio and we'll deal with that particular one. Yeah, because in my mind, I tend to find there are some contradictions, some serious contradictions that are taking place in relation to that particular issue. And we'll come to it in a little while. Let's take this call. Good morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Morning, caller, you're live.
Good morning.
Morning, you're live. Go right ahead, you're live.
I'm calling on the behalf of the citizens of Carriacou and Pitimani concerning the pension.
Mm-hmm.
It is not fair that the Grenada citizens on the mainland getting $300 and we in Carriacou and Pitimani getting $2. That is dividing the country. That is not nice at all. I want you all to find out why are we getting 200 when Grenada getting 300. Are we not the same citizens?
I do not believe.
Are we not the same Grenadians?
I do not believe that is correct.
Yes, that is correct.
You're speaking.
Pitimani getting 200.
Number one, are you speaking?
Grenada is getting 3.
Are you speaking
that
up?
That is correct.
Are you
find out and.
No, well, if you're asking me to find out, it means that you're not even sure on what you're saying. Well, I'll do the research and I'll get back to you on that one.
I'm speaking from facts because I went and got my 200.
Mm-hmm.
I went and got my 200.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, find out. And if such is the case, they need to fix it because we all are Grenadians.
Let me ask. Are you in? Hello. I want to ask a question. Hello. Now, the question I wanted to ask is simply this. The number one is not a pension. I know you're speaking of the public assistance that elder people receive. Now, the public assistance was increased. Individual person, like an elder person living on their own, would receive the increase. But if you are within a home, so it's you and your husband in the same home, or even you and your brother, and both of you are receiving the public assistance, or you and your sister and both of you are in the same household receiving public assistance, one will receive and the other one will not receive. Because the increase is per household and not per individual. I hope that it's clarified it a bit. What I will do is, if that is not the case, I will investigate the matter, because number one, I don't know what you collect. You know what you collect. So it's for you to tell me what you have done. So notice, I'm not saying that you're lying. I would not say that, because one, I don't know what you collect. Also, secondly, I don't know what is the case with other individuals on the sister isle of Carriacou. What I can guarantee you is that I will investigate that matter, and not next week, not next month. I'll investigate that matter today. Yeah? And I will come back and give a clear and proper explanation on this program as soon as possible. But we're going to trace down that one. Devon, you're out, but the caller is saying that individuals in Carriacou, they're receiving their public assistance, or the pension as the elderly call it, they're receiving it at $200, while on mainland Grenada, people are receiving it at $3. So it is something that definitely we must look into.
Okay.
We must look into whether it's a clerical error or whether there's a reasoning behind it. It is something that we definitely have to look after. Because, I mean, you have, one of the things that goes on is that you have different price, the vehicle gas between Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. You have different prices for the 3 islands. They have different price. When it comes to vehicle gas, when it comes to diesel and so on, you have different prices on the 3 islands. And there's a reasoning behind that. So there may be a similar reasoning behind this, but I do not know. And when I don't know, I ain't going and do like I know. I don't know. So we definitely will find out. And I promise you, caller, that we'll get back to you on that one. And I thank you so very much for raising that issue, because it will be an issue of concern to the individuals of Carriacou and Petit Martinique. They pay taxes as everybody else.
Everybody else.
They pay taxes as everybody else. Same as we pay taxes here, they're paying taxes there.
But there's no difference between me and...
Sorry, I had your mic off. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, there's no difference between myself and someone from Carriacou or Petit Martinique. Right? We all do the same. We pay VAT, we pay tax, we do everything together. You know, it's just that water separates us. Just a few miles of water.
Let me see if I could get some information on it. Let me see.
Grenada is such a beautiful country, where come forth so much black makers of history. Man, I sure that many people will agree if I say she's blessed by the Almighty. Oh God, the standard of skills and talent we have down there in this land, it is too much for me to mention. Yeah. The level of education keep rising to higher heights. And if I'm wrong, don't say that I'm right. No, I want to tell everybody I'm so proud of my country. Don't care wherever I may be, I say Grenada belongs to me. No country in this world could do the things that my country would do for me. I am proud. I love my Grenada, my homeland forever. Sing the chorus louder. Tell them about Grenada, the land of my grandfather. She will always prosper. Oh, my Grenada, land of peace and culture. Grenada is such a paradise. Oh God. But a lot of folks don't realize, if we learn to pull we hand to the little that we can, we could make Grenada a better land. Hey. Mommy, sometimes when I go to a foreign country, such as the United States, who's so wealthy, I just beg the Father to have some mercy. When I see madness in society, oh God, sometimes I put on my TV to check out the daily news. The things I see that have me confused, eh? The number of crime and violence I see on the street. Sometimes I'm frightened I cannot eat, hey. But when you check out Grenada, we have no diamond and silver, but we just live in unity, and that's what makes me happy. Is then I come to realize, oh God, my country is a paradise, hey. I love my...
Yeah, you see how people doesn't play. One time we get the information. And
my grandfather, she will always prosper. Oh, my Grenada.
all right.
If we learn to pull we hand, do the little that we can, we could make Grenada a better land.
No, my friend Leslie, I have not forgotten the Rachel Roberts issue. All right, so the information I've received now is one. The payments that the caller referred to, the caller, first of all, the caller is absolutely truthful. What the caller is saying is the truth, but there is a reasoning behind it. One, there was not the seed program fully implemented in Carriacou and Petit Martinique. That's the first part of it. The first part of it is that the seed program was not fully implemented in Carriacou, Petit Martinique.
Talent we have down there in this land. It is too much for me to mention. Yeah. The level of education keep rising to higher heights. And if I'm wrong, don't say that I'm...
Yes, so that's the first part of it, is that the seed program, so there are components of the seed program in Carriacou, Petit Martinique, but not the full seed program like we have on mainland Grenada. So there is the component there of the payments to the elderly. There is the component there, and there's a quota of how many persons you can have under that program at a point in time in Carriacou as well. So you would have basically somebody had to wait until somebody passes away or no longer qualifies to be able to get onto that program in Carriacou. You also have the situation where they have the payments for the children under the seed program that exists in Carriacou. But the all-encompassing seed program, as we have it here on mainland Grenada, does not exist in Carriacou and Petit Martinique. They have the seed program, but not the full program like has been rolled out here in Grenada. The minister did mention in her budget presentation at the ending of last year, she did mention that this situation exists, that the persons who are receiving their monies in Carriacou, they're receiving 200 and not 300 as the people on mainland Grenada are receiving. That again is partly because of how the seed program has been implemented partially in Carriacou, in that they're paying by the individual and not, as we were mentioning earlier, the household. So while the increase went to household, because I was saying, for instance, you may have two sisters who are eligible. So one is receiving that money and next one receiving their money, but one alone is given the increase because it goes to the household and not specifically the individual. That aspect of the program has not been started in Carriacou yet, but incidentally, there is a team of persons from the seed program in Petit Martinique and in Carriacou right now as we're speaking. That's how I could get the information so fast. There are a team of persons from the seed program in Carriacou and Petit Martinique doing the assessment of the individuals who are presently under the program and the possible persons who may come under the program eventually, so that a full rollout of the program can be done in Petit Martinique and in Carriacou. That's the seed program. Also, the funds have already been allocated for the increases to the people of Petit Martinique and Carriacou so that they would start getting the 300. But as with all programs that you work along with like the United Nations and different people and so on, different agencies, you have to do regular assessment. Yeah? So outside of doing the general assessment for the rollout in Petit Martinique and Carriacou, they have to assess the individuals who are presently, so the people who are receiving the 200 in Carriacou and in Petit Martinique right now, they are going to be assessed to see, for instance, if their circumstances have improved, and therefore by the means, and by the means I mean that there is a certain criteria under which you qualify for that seed payment. Your household has to be receiving under a certain amount of money on a monthly basis. Yeah? And one or two other things that are taken into consideration. I don't have the list in front of me. I can't tell you specifically what all of these things are, but it's a means test. And if you have met that criteria, you receive a payment under the seed program. If you don't meet that criteria, for instance, if a person have a business running, they have a business bringing in hundreds a week or thousands a week and so on, You can't expect them to qualify for a program like this. Yeah? If a person is living with a relative that has a salary of $5,000 or $6,000 a month, you can't expect them to qualify under a program like this.
What happened?
So that is why the assessment is being done. First of all, the person could have been living on their own. And living on their own, they didn't have an income coming into their household. And as such, that individual may have qualified for seed and was receiving the $200. Let's say some relative moves back to Grenada now, or moves back to Carriacou from the UK or the US. And this individual has means. So they have a pension coming in from somewhere and they have a couple $1,000 coming in every month. Or they opened a business and they decide, I'm going to take this relative to live with me. Because that person is now in a household that is earning above the amount that qualifies them for seed, they would have to be removed from the program. And another individual who is in dire straits, who does not have that sort of income coming in to their home, that individual will now qualify for the seed payment. I hope that clears it up a bit. So one, the individuals from the seed program, they are in Carriacou and Petit Martinique incidentally right now doing assessments. No, they're not coming next week. They're not coming week after. They're not coming next year. They are there in Carriacou and Petit Martinique right now doing the assessments for the seed program. So those of you who do qualify under the seed program, yeah, and remember, it will not be that you and your brother living in the house, both of you of age, and you're living in the house and both of you receiving your payments and two of you going to get 300. That's not going to happen. There will be people that because it's a husband and wife also and both receiving payments, they will not receive 3 and 3.
Nope.
Either the husband get a 3 or the wife get a 3. But it wouldn't be 3 and 3. Yeah, it's going to be 2 and 3. So it's going to be a total of 5.
500.
It's not going to be a total of 6. So I hope that clarifies it a lot for many of you. All right? Nice.
And
beautiful.
As we go on, any more information we get and we can share, you know we will share it. Okay? Hey, good morning to Antonia Granger. Yeah, over there in St. John's. Good morning to you, my dear. Beautiful daughter. Firstborn.
First
girl born.
So I hope that entire thing clarifies it for a lot of the individuals there in Carriacou and Petit Martinique. And we're going to hey, we have somebody on the phone there with us. Good morning.
Morning, Sheldon Scott.
Morning, my dear.
How are you doing?
I'm great.
Everybody, Mr. Watts, everybody. Good morning, Sheldon.
Yes, my love.
With this money, I mean, the government must give us nothing, you know. I mean, you get $200. I mean, no disrespect to the lady. You understand?
Yeah.
Because some of us have our parents in Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique, and we don't giving them $1. The government still giving them people something. They still complaining, oh God. Are they satisfied, you know? Go back and tell the people, look, I didn't get it. They say it's $300. Nobody said the people in Grenada is better than them in Carriacou. That is not nice to say, mommy, true respect. You understand? They don't must.
No, but she has a valid point. If something
the government don't must give nobody nothing. But they're still giving 2 and 3. Say thank God for small mercies. I know somebody will call back to criticize me. But they don't must because we have some of us have with children. And we children don't giving us a pound of sugar. Not even $1. And the government still giving us something. So we must be grateful for the little. The little we get in thank God. You understand what I'm saying? Okay. I don't want to vex. Who want to call back and give me fire, I will do it. But I will look at it. I don't have people like nobody, they try nothing. They mother and father nothing. Hey.
Come in.
And the NDC, they didn't get $300. So I think how much money they used to give on the NDC? Want something they used to give. So we must be grateful for small mercies. Grenada is a little country. We don't have nothing much. But we still getting something. They didn't much. I don't get sick, you know. Anyway,
all right, but
anybody want money back?
go and buy because things slow here. I don't know what else going on.
That money bag does bring money, yeah?
The Prime Minister giving people $300. Wow. And I
Can we
know
behave
what is
yourself?
complete. Tillman,
Camille
Prime
Teresa
Minister Tillman
Scott.
was the Prime Minister. He promised, but he give you one. They should not give nobody nothing. Yeah, we suffer because we complaining too much. We complain too much of the little things. We are to be grateful for small mercies. All right, have a good day.
All right,
Thank you. Folks, just before I forget totally, the Honorable Gregory Bowen, he will not be at the constituency office tomorrow. You know, usually Honorable Gregory Bowen is at his office down there in Laborie right after the hard court. He will not be there tomorrow. He will resume his normal office hours next week. So he will not be there. You can still go if you want to speak to one of the ladies there, leave some information. The different officers, they will be at the constituency parliamentary representative office there. So you can go there and you could still speak to one of the ladies or the gentleman there, but he will not be in there tomorrow. So please take note. Those of you that was taking a little time off to go, he will not be there tomorrow, and he will not be there for the next few Thursdays until the 11th of April. He'll be back in, but it does not mean that if you have an issue, you still cannot go and speak to the staff there and give your information, and so they will pass it on to him. But to see him directly, you will not be able to do that. Cami, I disagree with you this time in the context of, I think the people of Carriacou, and not I think, I know the people of Carriacou and Petit Martinique, they pay their land tax, they pay the VAT, they pay the taxes, and so as everybody else. And if those of us on mainland, and I'll be very biased here because you know I'm a Carriacou and Petit Martinique family, as in blood family, if people on mainland are benefiting from a particular program in a particular way, then I, for one, will always battle and always be on the side of the people of Carriacou and Petit Martinique, same as the Member of Parliament is doing, so that they also receive the same benefits as everybody else. Because we, the people of Carriacou and Petit Martinique, we're not second hand, we're not third hand, and we're not fourth hand citizens. We're Grenadians the same as everybody else. Yeah. So if it is a situation that the program is being rolled out in Grenada in a particular way, we want it to roll out in Carriacou too. Same way that when you have Imani in Grenada, we want Imani in Carriacou and Petit Martinique too. Same way that when you have road work in Grenada, we want road work in Carriacou and Petit Martinique too. Same way as when you have anything taking place in Grenada, we want it in Carriacou and we want it in Petit Martinique too. Yeah? So I understand why the caller called. It's not an issue so much of we're getting $200 and we vex. It is an issue of there is not that equality with what is taking place in Grenada and what is taking place in Carriacou, and they would just like it to be evened out because they are tax-paying and they have been tax-paying and contributing Grenadians the same as everybody else. Yeah, so I understand that totally. Looking like we're getting hell to go to that Rachel Roberts issue, boy. But we have a caller.
Good morning and welcome.
Hello.
Morning, young fella. How are you doing?
Hey.
Yeah, we're fine.
Good, man.
Good. Mr. Sheldon Scott?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Balmond, we the people at Carriacou.
Yes.
I will say no more. I will say no more.
B, don't do me that, man.
I want to know if it's the we English or the we French.
You sound like French.
You carry on, man. I hear about we the people of Carriacou.
Oh, God. Same to you. Well, no, I missed I missed Carriacou Carnival. But I have made a promise to the Honorable MP that I most definitely will be, God's willing, in Carriacou for the Maroon Festival. I've made a direct promise. And even better, the date for the launch of Carnival has shifted off of Maroon weekend to the following week. Yeah? So now, I know for sure, Carriacou and Petit Martinique seeing me for the Maroon. Yeah? So I'll be in Carriacou and Petit Martinique, God's willing. Yeah? I'll be there for the Maroon Festival. And that's more my kind of thing to the drumming and, the traditional thing and all of that. I love that. So definitely I'll be in Carriacou. for that point in time. But before I lose it, Devon, GBN News last night. Hey, now before we go there, today's Cathy Albert's birthday.
Hey, happy. Hi, Cathy.
Cathy, we go play a thing for you, don't worry.
Happy birthday. Oh, you want me to sing? I can, you know, but
you find time enough rain outside.
Yeah, we need more rain.
I mean, you're looking to bring a hurricane to Grenada in March. Next thing you see, whirlwind, all kind of thing.
Oh my God.
You can go ahead and sing, you know, because you have a good singing voice. You can sing, you know. Man have a good voice, you know. He does just play a thing. He hosts today. Sahara, there's a dust guy in it, you understand? Yeah. But Devon, GBN News last night, and we like to make sure people know where they're hearing things from. GBN News last night, we'd like to play a report for you, just about 2 minutes long. We'll play a report for you from GBN News last night, and then we're going to say what we had to say in relation to it. So let's play that for you right now.
Rachel Roberts is challenging a recent interministerial transfer, which left her without a position. On Wednesday, January 30th, Rachel Roberts was transferred from her position as Senior Administrative Officer in the Ministry of Education to the Corporate Affairs and Intellectual Properties Rights Office. Cadgenton Hood, who is representing Roberts, spoke on the claim put forward to the court.
The essential claim before the court is one for constitutional relief. We're saying that the Public Service Commission has acted contrary to the Constitution of Grenada. We have mentioned the discrimination, the fact that she's been treated that way, obviously because of what is perceived to be her political opinion. We are saying to the court, effectively, she has been removed from the public service. Effectively removed with effect 28th of January 2019. We are asking the court to say that she has been removed from her office for reorganization purposes.
Roberts' attorney says while the transfer may not be the entire problem, he's of the view that she now holds a considerably lesser position than before. He added that to date, no job description has been given to his client.
I mean, given no list of duties, she has met with the person in charge of Carriacou on more than one occasion, and the person in charge has admitted that she doesn't know what she's doing there. She doesn't know what to give her to do. Listen to me. She has no training in intellectual property. She has a master's in business administration. She has no training in intellectual property at all. So what is she doing there? It is a punishment.
According to Hood, his client is still receiving her monthly salary in the same amount, despite the fact that she reports to work daily with no office or directives. Akeisha Felix for GBN News.
Yeah, so that report there was on GBN News last night, isn't it? Yeah, that was on GBN News last night. And that's the same Rachel Roberts who said that she does be there with nothing to do.
Comrade sister.
Yeah, the president of the Public Workers Union.
Comrade sister Rachel Roberts.
But it should be the Public Non-Workers Union then. Because other people working.
Yeah.
But she does say she ain't working. Yeah, she does admit she ain't working. I mean, it's not me. 20th of February. This is her. Let me see what she's had to say on the 20th of February. Yeah, let me just hear that snippet.
As you know, I have been on assignment for many years within the Ministry of Education, sitting on a desk doing nothing. I have been placed in the Ministry of Environment, doing nothing without any portfolio. And now I have been placed within the Carriacou department, where you could say I am there without not a portfolio. So, Eugenia, I gave up a lot in order to serve the workers of this country.
Yeah, she said she gave up a lot to serve the workers of the country. But she said, and no, listen to it again, she's saying that for years she's just been paid by the government of Grenada for doing nothing. Now, I don't know, and as a person who spent many years in the public service myself, and no, I'm not speaking of the period 2013 to 2016. I'm speaking of the period 2005 to 2009, when I was within the public service of Grenada. I know the role of a SAO. And a SAO, the Senior Administrative Officer, is the person just below the Permanent Secretary, and is supposed to be one of the busiest people within a ministry.
Is the most busy.
There is no possible way that you ought to be holding the position of the Senior Administrative Officer. In other words, after the PS, you are the chief cook and bottle washer. People misunderstand things. the ministers create the policy within a ministry. They set the policy, they give the guidelines. That's what a minister does. They create the policy, they set the guidelines and so on for a ministry. But the actual implementation, running of the things, that's the permanent secretary's and the SAO's job. So she's basically saying that she was employed and has been employed and continues to be employed by the government of Grenada, but as the SAO. No wonder all kind of thing was taking place with Ministry of Education. As the SAO in the Ministry of Education, she was doing nothing. And remember, that is the 20th of February. That is on GBN. That's a GBN report on the 20th of February, just when she was heading for the public workers elections. She was saying, look, I'm being victimized. I have been there for years with nothing doing. But while you're doing nothing, it have people leaving the ministry 9 and 10 in the night because they're working hard as hell and they're in lower positions than the position that she holds. You have people, I know there are public workers are listening to this, probably hearing it for the first time right now, and the temperature just went up because they know that they're working hard. Now, SAO ain't getting no joke money either. Eh? You're talking somewhere around 4,000 or 5,000. You should be talking around there at least, if I'm remembering the grade correctly. And I'm subject to correction here because I do have my budgetary documents with me. Yeah, so SAO could be somewhere in the region of $4,000 or $5,000 going there. And especially with the increments they received this year, it should be somewhere in that region heading to 6 now. So an SAO, you're saying that for years you've worked as a SAO within the ministry and, well, not work, you're supposed to be working, you held the position as SAO and you did nothing. And then you said you were in other departments as well and you did nothing.
Went to environment. I'm thinking.
No, Devon, you want to hear the statement again? Hear the statement again.
Saturday.
Oops, no, not that one. Let me get a correct statement.
Been on assignment for many years within the Ministry of Education, sitting on a desk doing nothing. I have been placed in the Ministry of Environment, doing nothing without any portfolio. And now I have been placed within the CAIPO department, where you could say I am there without not a portfolio. So, Eugenia, I gave up a lot in order to serve the workers of this country.
But how you could give up a lot if you was doing nothing? You're receiving a salary, basically you was doing nothing, you're receiving a salary, and you gave up a lot? You gave up what? You wasn't doing anything?
I'm sort of, I want to find out. She said for many years.
Yeah.
How much is that many years she been SAO in the Ministry of Education and then...
Your microphone.
Yeah, and then SAO,
turn it to you. Yeah.
SAO and then in the environment. I mean, she said a number of years. I would like to know the amount of years she has been doing nothing.
And being paid to do nothing. And that's what she said. Not nothing. Me say so. Listen, let me get this clear before we get a letter from Kaji too. Kaji, morning. Yeah, Kaji, I know you're fighting a losing battle with that one. Because the individual themselves has admitted that they have no case. Kaji, the individual themselves has admitted that they have no case.
Doing nothing for a lot of years. I would like to know the lot of years. And doing nothing. Wow. Be careful, Mr. Roberts.
Because here's what. On the 30th of January, on a GBN interview, this is what she had to say. The same person that taken government, the public service, to court now. Right? This is what they had to say.
I have been transferred to the Corporate Affairs Intellectual Property Office as of today, Wednesday, the 31st of December. And whether or not my job description, my letter of appointment, in the public service would say that I'm liable to be transferred at any time within the public service, it still appears that because of my position, because of the fact that I hold an office in the trade union movement, that it appears to be some form of victimization.
My brother, she has said there that her letter of appointment says that the Public Service Commission could do what?
Move you around at any time.
Within the public service. Yeah. CAIPO is part of the public service of Grenada. So I fail to understand the connection to say that she's now out of the public service. I know what happened, you know. This is the technicality that Ms. Gemma Bain Thomas get some money on. I feel now I could hold her money. So let me challenge the Public Service Commission. So I go hold her money. But it is not the same. You can be moved laterally within the public service of Greece. Could be moved from one position to the other once your salary and your position is maintained. And what has happened here is that she has been shifted from one to the other, and even her lawyer has admitted in that clip that we played from GBN that she is receiving her same salary. If you're giving her less, she have a case. If you put her in a position and the position is less than what she held as a SAO, she has a case. But that is not the case. She's receiving the same salary. Well, I don't think it's the same salary again, because remember they get increments, so the salary went up a little bit. They bump up a bit. So she has admitted here that her letter of appointment, that is the 30th, she said the 31st of December, and she made an error. Unless the letter said 31st of December, but this interview was not the 31st of December. That interview was the 30th of January. That's when that interview was done. That's when that interview was broadcast by the GBN. And she admits that the letter that she's appointed with says that she can be moved at any time within the public service. And we know that there are rules that guide that. You have to be moved to a same position as you are.
Let me ask, perhaps you may or may not be able to answer. How long has Rachel been an executive member of the Public Workers Union?
I have no idea. No idea.
Because in our case...
It'd be interesting to find out.
Yeah, in her statement, right, she claims about victimization or so because she holds a position within the union. You see, and that to me is sort of crucial. I'm wondering because, again, I go back again to say, she said for a number of years she has been doing nothing in different... No, I'm wondering, putting two of them together.
No, here's what.
Where, you know,
let me play another clip for you from the 30th of January, that what she said.
The PW head says the public service rule prevents her from taking any action.
Job description says, letter of appointment says that you are liable to transfer at any time. It is always very challenging and difficult to be able to pinpoint the issue of interference when an officer is moved, victimization when an officer is moved. But we recognize it as professional hurt, because as an officer, it becomes very challenging, it becomes very frustrating. But for me, I stand firm, I stand steadfast, and would uphold the rules and regulations of the public service and the rules of my constitution.
I mean, she has said there on the 30th that she can't take government to court. Maybe that was a pre-election promise. She said that she can't take government to court. So Kaji, maybe this is a frivolous and vexatious suit that you have filed. Maybe it's frivolous and vexatious because your client on their own has said that they can't file a case. So I know who go and push her to say file a case. But Kaji, you need to sit down with your client.
You have a lot of holes in because what I'm hearing she's saying.
The same client you end up on television with I'm talking about last night, that client is saying at the 30th of January that they can't take government to court because the letter says that they can be moved wherever within the public service. Yeah? I've known situations, and I spoke about them here before, that you go into the public service, you're working in a ministry, you go to the ministry today and you receive a notification that you're transferred to another ministry.
Yeah.
Maybe your services are required within another ministry. Yeah? So there's, and this again, government can make recommendations, but government can't transfer anybody anywhere. Dr. The Right Honorable Keith Mitchell cannot transfer anybody anywhere. No government minister could transfer anybody anywhere who is in the public service. Let's get that part clear. Let's clarify that. Read your constitution. Yeah, read it. And you would realize what the Public Service Commission is. A minister may make a recommendation to the Public Service Commission. The Public Service Commission does not listen. The Public Service Commission could say, well, to hell with them, I ain't bothering them. leave that person there. Or they say they want to send that person there. But we see that there's a need for that person because she has a master's in business. CAIPO is with the registration of businesses. She has a master's in business.
Business administration.
CAIPO is with the registration of businesses, which is a part of business administration. CAIPO is a part of the public service of Grenada. It is not a private entity. I ain't no lawyer. So me ain't know who push her. And we ain't know who push her. But she for herself is saying that she shouldn't do what she has now done. Don't take it from us, hear it from her.
The PW head says the public service rule prevents her from taking any action.
Job description says, letter of appointment says, that you are liable to transfer at any time. It is always very challenging and difficult to be able to pinpoint the issue of interference when an officer is moved, victimization when an officer is moved. But we recognize it as professional hurt because as an officer, it becomes very challenging, it becomes very frustrating. But for me, I stand firm, I stand steadfast and would uphold the rules and regulations of the public service and the rules of my constitution.
So it's not we that say she could be moved at any time. Even Kaji, even your clients admit that they could be moved at any time. They admit it for themselves. Understand what you're going with, the constitutional part, that if a department is being reorganized and so on, a person loses their position because of that, they have to be considered as retired one time with all the benefits and so on. Yeah, I read the constitution too, that the person, if a department within government is being reorganized and a person loses their position because of that, in other words, the person loses their job because of that, so you no longer have that particular role again, that person can be considered as retired out of the public service of Grenada, and that person has to be paid their pension and thing from that time. One time they have to receive all their benefits and that kind of thing. So understand, yeah, looking at it from that viewpoint. Nice. Looking at it from that viewpoint. I think we have a caller. Let's go to the phone line.
Good morning and welcome.
Hello.
Good morning.
Hello.
Sheldon, good to call back in. Sheldon, when you in the public service, I don't bite like tomorrow and like Collins and Wood and all them lawyers they have. But when you're a public servant, they could move you and put you in any department to work. So I don't understand what is the big problem. Then I said, and they say they victimize the lady. The lady know they could move you anytime. They could have sent you in Carriacou to work. They could have sent you in mental home. They could have sent you Ministry of Health. When you are appointed with the government of Grenada and the public service, you are appointed, they could move you anyway. You understand?
Yeah.
It's the opposition people and the haters that making a big problem and causing all this thing, you know. The haters that saying all this thing will victimize the lady. The lady going to work. The lady didn't put that there and say, well, you have to work till retirement and you will retire from that job. They could move you anytime. As a public servant, when you are appointed in public service, they could move you anytime. You understand? I don't think people should bring gray too much. Some of you think it's only under breed. And before I go, Mr. Sheldon Scott, I didn't mean that if evil Carriacou don't deserve $300, you know.
No, I didn't mean that. I know that.
I don't say they shouldn't get it, you know.
I just clarified.
We, as a people, must be satisfied whatever little we get. I don't say clearly say we're better than them in Carriacou. That is what I was making reference of.
No, I understand.
We don't better than them. You understand? The reference I was making, we don't better than them. But I didn't like what she said, if we better than them in Carriacou. That's what I said. Some of us, we are ignorant and we don't know. I don't know what to say. Anyhow, I'm gone. I don't write like God. My education, I get it on the street. But I'm not stupid.
All right, Gabby.
Have a good day.
No, and we're not saying that's what you said. We just clarifying because I think that's how they not you, but I think that's how the caller felt. They felt like, okay, we are second-class citizens because we're not receiving the same as Grenada. I'm not saying that's what you said. I'm saying that's how the caller felt. Yeah? Because they were not receiving the same benefits as everybody else. But it is being addressed. At least it's being addressed.
Okay, it always has been a perception between the relationship between Carriacou, Grenada, and so in terms of,
Yeah.
So we don't want...
So the comrade sister, well, what's going on there? Because she has admitted, one, on the 30th of January, she admitted that, number one, she should not take the Public Service Commission to court. Of course, that was pre her the election there to the Public Workers Union.
Election.
So she said that she cannot take the public service to court because she has a letter that says that she can be transferred at any point in time. Kami would know. Kami worked with the Ministry of Finance for many years. Or you might know that. Yeah, Kami worked with the Ministry of Finance. Kami knows. Devon knows. I know. All of us had our interactions with the Public Service of Grenada. And if you are appointed by the Public Service, your letter, as she for herself has said, her letter says that how she can be transferred to anywhere within the Public Service.
Anywhere.
Sometimes you see people who in customs. Next thing you see them in a ministry. You might even see somebody who was in the Royal Grenada Police Force come over to the Ministry. So I know of one individual that's in customs and up working in the Ministry of Health.
Even the prisons.
Yeah, people from prisons sometimes they come down to work in our ministry.
The late Mr. D. Gale, customs officer, he ended up in the prison after a while.
Hey, working in the prison. You know you're saying it, right? Yeah, so you can be moved from. The thing is that one, whatever position you're sent to has to carry the same weight as the one that you're carrying before, and secondly, the salary has to be the same or more. It could be more. It has to be the same or more. Yeah?
Because, for example, at the bus
terminus... Dali, I agree with you.
At the bus terminus in St. George's, there is a superintendent, Superintendent Belfont, who is in charge of...
A former superintendent. Superintendent?
Still superintendent.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, so you can be shifted laterally.
Yeah.
Yeah? So you cannot be demoted. So I don't know if what she's claiming is that she was doing nothing in the Ministry of Environment, nothing in the Ministry of Education, and now she's doing nothing in Carriacou. So she's been demoted.
So she getting paid to do nothing?
But what I'm trying to understand is how somebody could have been an SAO in a ministry and have nothing to do. You have cabinet conclusions that both you and the permanent secretary have to work on. That has to go up to cabinet every Thursday. The cabinet conclusions have to go up. So you have to draft, and the cabinet conclusions are basically those not cabinet conclusions, but oh boy, I'm trying to remember the correct name they call it. But basically, when a ministry has certain requests, for instance, you know that school A needs to do some construction, and this is the bill, this is how much it's going to cost, and so on.
So you make submissions.
Submission, that's it. Cabinet submission. Devon, like you was in the ministry instead of me. Yeah, cabinet submissions. You make your submissions. Even if it's a staff issue or a policy issue that needs to be implemented and so, or a new program to be implemented or whatever it is, you have to do your cabinet submissions and they have to go up to cabinet every Thursday. It is not done simply by the permanent secretary in all ministries, but they do receive assistance from the SAO. Also, within a ministry like the Ministry of Education, you must have had issues with people, for instance, who have to go on vacation, who are on sick leave, who are going on study leave, and all these sort of things are supposed to pass through the senior administrative officer.
Before you get to the PS.
I find it impossible to understand. I'm not saying it's impossible to happen. I find it impossible to understand how you could have been the SAO in the Ministry of Education.
Nothing to do.
With nothing to do.
Wow.
Watch, you see that? Watch, we'll deal with that one tomorrow again. Yeah, we'll talk about it a bit tomorrow again. Yeah, we're out of time. Folks, that's all the time we have for Hard Talk. It's been wonderful being here with you in whatever you say and do. Do it safe and secure. We want to be speaking to and with you.
And not about you.
Love each and every one of you unconditionally. And just before we run off, just to let you all know, the St. Andrew Southeast Youth Arm, they are having their cocktail coming up. I'm looking for more information on the cocktail. I seen remind people about the cocktail, but I can't find the cocktail information. It's somewhere there. I'll find it. All right, so we're going to remind people about it over the next couple of days and so on. So we are out.
Saturday, April 13th is the date. 4 p.m. is here today. Friday, April 5th. Kirani James Athletic Stadium. National Secondary School Games. Run, throw, jump. National Secondary School Games 2019. Your games, your future. Saturday, April 13th is the date. 4 p.m. is the time. It's the 3rd annual Grenada Invitational. World-class athletes, world-class performances, and a world-class facility. Come see Olympians Andre DeGrasse, Shellyan, Fraser Price, Braylon Toplin, Asafa Powell, Lyndon Victor, and the cast of superstars at the Kirani James Athletic Stadium. Tickets are now on sale at godofed.com. Grenadian Optical, Duty Free Caribbean, Maxis Bar, and Venus. Saturday, April 13th. Grenada Invitational. See you there.
McIntyre, top of the screen in the colors of Grenada with a bit of a lead.
ECCB Governor says OECS must work in harmony to achieve targets set out in the OECS Development Strategy. Details to this story and more in the National Report. With the details to the news for Tuesday, March 26th, I am Leslie Ann Johnson. The governor of the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank, Mr. Timothy Twine, says the regional grouping must work together to achieve the growth rate set out by the OECS Development Strategy. He was speaking during the virtual media launch and public consultation of the draft strategy on Tuesday. In conjunction with its extensive stakeholders over a period of 2 years, the OECS Commission developed the strategy for member nations of the OECS to tap into the economic opportunities presented in an ever-changing regional and global environment. It's described as an important milestone in the journey towards the economic union envisaged in the revised Treaty of Bastille. Mr. Twine says there is need for collective action to ensure targets set by the strategy are met.
The strategy identifies a growth range of 3 to 5%. So that's our target, 3 to 5%. That is, of course, very consistent with the ECCB strategy as well, which is 5%. Now, is that feasible? We think it is, but it cannot be business as usual. We're going to have to do some things differently. We're going to have to work together even more smartly if we're going to achieve that. But we are absolutely committed to doing our level best, our utmost best, to achieve these targets. But I want to be clear, these targets cannot be achieved by the OECS Commission or the ECCB. They have to be achieved in concert, collective action, everyone playing his or her role, including, of course, our international development partners. So I believe the strategy, it is possible for us to meet the targets with some hard work. In addition to the growth target, there's also the target of reducing unemployment by about 25% over the life of the strategy. This is a 10-year strategy. So the two goals, target growth of between 3 and 5% and reduce unemployment by 25%.
Grenada's Consul General in Toronto, Mr. Derek James, will be in Grenada next month as part of moves to recruit more local labor for Canadian farms. 36 workers have already left to work on farms in Canada. In addition, 25 persons were selected to travel to Barbados for training with Trinity Recruitment Services for possible placement with Carnival Cruise Lines. During the government's weekly post-cabinet briefing on Tuesday, Labour Minister, the Honourable Peter David, said government is committed to securing employment opportunities for Grenadians.
There's also a potential program for the recruitment of hotel and domestic workers in Canada. The Consul General will be coming to Grenada soon, and again, on the issue of hotel and domestic workers, he will be speaking to us about how do we take advantage of those programs in Canada. So we are working on several fronts in the Ministry of Labour to source employment outside of the country while we seek to protect our workers in Grenada.
The Labour Minister also spoke to the process that must be followed to secure the right type of labour for the Canadian farms.
It's a visit along with some farmers who are interested in getting new workers on board. That is where it stands at the moment. He may find it necessary, along with the farmers who are interested, to meet some of the workers. I think when they come to Grenada, sometimes we have a list of workers who have applied, we have a list who have been interviewed, and I just want to say this, that, you know, we receive a huge amount of names, but it takes us time to interview, and we don't want to give the expectation. Some people believe that we can just send people abroad. The only way we can send people to a farm is when a farmer requests. And then when they request, sometimes they request 10 persons, we go to the list and they interview the 10 persons. Of the 10 they interview, they may decide to take 5. In other words, it is not entirely up to us who goes. It is a private sector arrangement where we facilitate the names going to them.
This is the National Report. More news after the break.
Tomorrow's future is here today. Friday, April 5th. Kirani James Athletic Stadium. National Secondary School Games. Run, throw, jump. National Secondary School Games 2019. Your games, your future.
Continuing the news, Grenada's anti-corruption system is being globally recognized for its implementation of best practices by international monetary agencies and organizations. So says Acting Prime Minister, the Honorable Gregory Bowen, who warned that it will not be business as usual as Grenada and the rest of the region work towards the creation, establishment and implementation of an anti-corruption system. He was addressing the Integrity Commission's annual Senior Leadership and Management Training Program at the National Stadium on Tuesday. It focuses on highlighting ongoing and current anti-corruption information and best practices. Minister Bowen says corruption thrives on weak structures and hinders economic development, so Grenada and its regional partners need to eliminate risks and gaps that enable corruption.
Government is serious about strengthening our public management system, and we urge the private sector to do the same, so that together we can make a meaningful contribution towards addressing the issues of corruption in our society. It is clear that any anti-corruption regime or system must be robust, active, well-coordinated, and consistent. Here in Grenada, we are actively engaged in the implementation of a suite of legislation that supports our thrust to address accountability and responsible public sector management. Such legislation, coupled with implementation efforts, must holistically address the risks and gaps which enable corruption.
Head of the Integrity Commission, Lady Anande Trotman-Joseph, says Grenada is assisting the CARICOM Secretariat in facilitating regional training and development. She said this is important to encourage regional collaboration.
This particular implementation effort of building out anti-corruption sectors undergirded by integrity systems will know by now that there is no way that we can do this on our own. To do so would be naive. Instead, it is pragmatic and realistic to reach out to stakeholders with whom inevitably we must work with, be they parliamentarians, politicians, civil society, public officials, public officers, head of statutory bodies, the man and woman in the street, and the children who play in our school yards. In other words, everyone is a stakeholder.
Grenada's double Olympic medalist Kirani James has announced his support for the 2019 Grenada Invitational on April 13 as an official ambassador. James, who participated in the inaugural event in 2017, will not be competing this year. He will arrive in Grenada on April 8th and will officially welcome the delegation of regional and international athletes. Kirani will also lend support to the ESPN team by providing expert analysis during the live broadcast of the games. Ms. Carleen Purcell, chair of the committee for the Grenada Invitational, says they're happy to have him on board.
We're delighted to announce the inclusion of our double Olympic medalist and hero, Kirani James, as ambassador for the 2019 edition of the Southern Caribbean's largest track and field meet. In a statement on Monday, March 25th, Kirani proffered the following, and I quote, "I am happy to announce that I will be a part of the 2019 edition of the Grenada Invitational as an official ambassador. Even though I am not competing this year, I consider it an honor to be a part of a project which purpose is towards the development of track and field in Grenada and highlight on a local, regional, and international level."
Athletes booked for the April 13 games include Justin Gatlin and Asafa Powell.
Andre DeGrassi was very, very pleased. You know, he was one of the first persons we booked. Shelley and Fraser Price. We have Aaron Brown, who's a Canadian national champ as well, or Antigua national champ holder, Miguel Francis. Akeem Bloomfield, look out for him. Right now, he's a young Jamaican, 20 years old, running sub-20 for 200 and just about sub-10 for the 100 meters. So he's a young upcoming Jamaican as well. So we have a lot of guys, Mike Rogers, Isaiah Young. Those are all people that have been here before and wanting to come back. You know, so it's Shema Little. She's again our number one hurdler, 400-meter hurdler in the world right now. So, you know, we have talented athletes, and like I said, they want to come back and they show interest even when they're coming for the first time to come back.
Ms. Purcell is pleased with the progress so far for the Games and spoke of government's commitment and support towards ensuring its success.
The government actually has been one of our biggest supporters in terms of technical support and just trying to ensure that, you know, work with us to ensure that it happens. We have a local organizing committee. We have support from, we have a member on the committee supporting that as well. The government is in support of the all-round kind of development that this can have on the nation. So they've always been supportive and have continued to support us.
And that's the National Report. I'm Leslie Ann Johnson.